Do you think you'd get fair treatment from CNN if your brother had a primetime show on that channel?
Well, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, every day would be Christmas. But, I think it's pretty clear some of these networks, obviously, they have agendas. They're doing narratives. They're not trying to report facts anymore. It's all about spinning whatever narrative they think can get ratings. And that's just the reality of the situation. So it doesn't impact me. We're going to continue keeping our eye on the ball and working as hard as we can to deliver results.
And results have been delivered. Let's focus on some positives here. The lockdown libs, the Democrat left, they have been wrong on this stuff, on how to handle COVID. And I know you'd say, well, but Buck, look at how the elections are going. Yeah, but it's really just Trump and Georgia that we have to mourn at this point as elections go. It's really just those. And I know that's a lot. I'm not saying it's minor, but the House Republicans actually picked up seats. And state legislatures did well. There's some reason for limited optimism about that. I know if we had held the Senate, everything would have felt like it was okay, but I wouldn't say okay, but it would have felt better. Folks, I'm trying to find silver linings. You know what I'm saying? But Florida is one big silver lining because you have a governor who has defied the consensus. You have a governor who has refused to go and bend the knee to the Fauciites. That guy Fauci is a complete jackass. And it's disgusting what he's done to the country. He should be ashamed of himself. He's not. He never will be. And that's important for everybody to know. It doesn't matter. There will never come a time when the people who advocated for all of this sit back and say, you know what? We were wrong. You know what? We didn't have to lock down the country after all. That didn't really give us any benefit, and it caused a lot of drawbacks for us. So we're sorry. Unfortunately, I can sit here and tell you that's never going to happen. Doesn't matter what the data shows. Doesn't matter what the eventual epidemiological advances are when we have a better understanding of how really the virus spread, meaning how quickly, how easily. We have some general numbers about all that, but all right, how well do, notice you can't even ask this question. If I say, how well do masks work? People start screaming, masks work. Okay, how well? I can tell you how well a vaccine works based on large controlled trials. Different vaccines, 95, 94% effective for COVID-19. That's real data. How well do masks work? Anyone want to try it? We've got a model that says if 80% of people wore a mask 90% of the time in 40% of places, then it would be 95%. This is all just make-believe. They don't know. That's not real data. That's like when they're telling you what the climate's going to be in 100 years. They don't, and they're wrong, of course. Every 10 years, they have to keep adjusting these things. They don't know. But they're never going to change. They're never going to admit that this was all disastrous. And in fact, I'm of the belief that the Democrats' ability to dominate the narrative because of the media panic that was induced, or the media inducing panic in the public, the Democrat narrative about COVID and how Trump was so inept and so ineffective in handling it, I think that played a very large role in the election because, that's not something people would necessarily tell to a pollster. It's not something that the data would all that clearly indicate, but I think that it affected overall perception. Is Trump doing a good job? A lot of people would look at what happened in 2020 with COVID and they'd say, well, look at how terrible things are in the country. Is that fair? No. Did the media exploit this? Yes. But it worked. It worked. And what we're going to see now is there are going to be these red state or redder states, place like Florida, havens set up, and where you have these mass migrations occurring from the blue strongholds, California, New York. They're going to have enormous problems. Now, they're going to try to make up that shortfall in tax revenue and at the federal level now. That's right. The federal bailouts are coming for these cities. So understand that's the socialism that we don't spend much time talking about, the redistribution of wealth to preferred Democrat enclaves at the federal level. Now, they would say, but they pay more in taxes and the red states have, they get more benefits per resident. What I'm saying is that, but they're about to turn this whole thing around because they're going to start shooting the money gun at all these blue states that are hemorrhaging residents. They can try to shore up the public sector unions. They can try to make it seem like the holes in the budgets are not so catastrophic. So they're going to try to stop that mass migration from happening because it's bad for the Democrat brand. Florida, I saw DeSantis say that they're up 20% in housing sales, 20% during a pandemic. People are fleeing. They're going there. They're saying, enough. I can't do this anymore. I talked to friends in New York. I got to say, we're under a strict lockdown here, and people are just they're cracking up. I mean, they're losing it. For what? What's the benefit? What would happen if you opened up restaurants in New York City, but you had these mitigation measures in place, limitations of people? The answer is it would basically be what it is right now. So why not open up the restaurants? It would based on their data, it would be 99% the same. That's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's worth putting tens of thousands of people out of work, immiserated, sick, homeless, perhaps. All it's worth that to have a possible 1% reduction in cases. Wow. I guess if it saves just one life, we better shut down every year for the flu if that's going to be our approach. Every year, got to shut down. The flu's coming. What, those tens of thousands of lives don't matter? You know what would happen if we... I have to wonder, the flu is basically eradicated. How is that possible? Oh, because social distancing and mask wearing now, we're led to believe, is almost 100% effective against the influenza virus, but not effective if really, you can't prove it any data effectiveness whatsoever based on what's happening right now with COVID. Notice they don't even have an explanation for this other than, it works against the flu super well. That's quite strange considering there are tens of millions of flu cases every year. It's pretty contagious, folks. But DeSantis is a shining light from a sunshine state. We gotta take our victories where we can.
Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.